In the last episode, Halim and E.T. explored a new cobblestone context. They noticed that the first section of the cobblestone had the same number of stones in each of the columns and rows, while the second section was different. They saw that the number of stones in each row of the second section was the size number plus 1. In this episode, they will look at the thinking of another student, Amir. They will work to meet the goal of this lesson, which is to generalize a relationship between the size number and the number of gray stones using Amir's way of seeing the stones. They will look at how Amir highlighted 2 cobblestones of size 3 and size 9. Then they will apply his method to find the number of gray stones in a cobblestone of size 5.
All right, so why don't you talk about the way you think Amir is seeing the pattern, and then after you're done with that, apply it to find the number of gray stones in size 5, and then just let me know when you're done.
Okay. So what I noticed is that he multiplied by 3, so the box 3 times 3, and he did that 3 times, and then the box here we said that had 4 in it, he just added a 3 again, which is kind of like adding 1 to get 4. Instead he just added 3.
I understand exactly what you're saying, but it's just
I
a
know
whole lot
that.
of 3s.
Yeah. This method is very long.
So do you want to try it out with, or look at how he did it with size 9, or he just did it the exact same way?
He did it the exact same way. But it's not bad, it's just very long, and I get mixed up when like the equation's really long sometimes.
I also noticed that he uses yellow to highlight the extra column of stones.
Yeah, like the ones he's adding.
Yes.
Okay. So we should probably use a different color for that, I guess, extra stones, or the stones we're adding in size 5.
Halim and E.T. have noticed several patterns in Amir's very long method. First, Halima noticed that 3 times 3 represented the stones in the first box or section. For the second section, Amir found the number of stones by multiplying 3 by 3 and adding 3. Did you notice that Halima says this is like adding 3 plus 1? She's comparing Amir's approach to what they did in the first episode, which involved adding something extra in the second section. Before, they took 3 stones and added 1 to get the number of stones in the last row of the second section. Amir's method multiplies 3 times 3, and then, as E.T. puts it, adds 1 extra column of 3 stones, which is represented in the plus 3 in Amir's equation. Next, they'll apply Amir's method to find the number of gray stones in size 5.
So would you want the honor of circling all the stones,
Right.
or would you like to work the formula?
I'll circle. So to solve it, I believe it would be 25 plus 25 plus 25, and that's 75, plus 5 is 80. Oh, sorry.
So our method, we use the same method that Amir did, just
Yeah.
with a few different colors.
Yeah.
And I think it was pretty good for finding low-sized numbers or the amount of low-sized tiles.
Yeah.
Halima and ET have applied Amir's method. They aren't the biggest fans as it is pretty long. Next, they'll work together to connect the methods back to their drawing.
I would like to just talk through that, what you wrote, the 5 times 5. I want to just connect each part back to the drawing. So the first 5 in the 5 times 5, what does it mean? Is it 5 stones? Is it 5 columns, 5 rows, 5 groups, something else?
So the first 5 would be representing how many tiles are in one column, or
Okay.
yeah. And the second 5 would be how many columns there are.
And what do you think of that, Halima?
I agree 100%.
Okay. How does that fit with how you were thinking about multiplication, the meaning of multiplication?
Yeah. I mean that fits. Yeah.
How do you think about the meaning of multiplication when you see 5 times 5?
Me?
Sure.
I think
Yes,
of like
me too.
5. I think of 5 groups of 5 or 5
5.
times 5.
Okay. And ET, was that how you were thinking of it also, 5 groups of 5?
Yes.
And the groups here are the columns, is that right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. So when you multiplied it out, you got 25. What was the 25 referring to in the picture?
How many gray tiles are there? Or gray stones?
Use your laser pointer and show me where the 25 gray stones are.
Right here.
And that whole first block. Do you agree with that, ET?
Yes.
Okay. Halima, you're up next. So I'm going to point to the next thing. Can you tell us what this 5 times 5 means and where it is in the drawing?
This 5 times 5 is 5 groups of 5. It's right here, all of this.
Okay. Hey, ET, did you see it the same way or differently?
I see it the same way.
Okay. So that 5 times 5 is also 25. Halima, where did you see those 25 stones?
Here.
The whole thing. Okay, great. And ET, can you tell us about the rest then? The 5 plus 5 times 5?
So the plus 5 would be this green column right here, the little spare, which would be the 6th column, but
So does
we
5
don't.
mean 5 columns or 5 stones in a column?
5 stones in the column.
Okay, awesome. And then keep going.
And then we're gonna add that plus another 5 times 5, which is going to be this little set right here, which is going to be 5 tiles in one column, and there's going to be 5 columns.
Awesome. And when you multiply that out, what do you get?
We get 25 plus 5.
So how many tiles are there in this section here? That middle section.
In total, including the green column,
Uh-huh.
there would be 30.
And how'd you get that?
We did the 5 times 5, which equals 25. And then we added that by 5, which equals 30.
Phew! That was a long method. Halima and ET were able to apply Amir's reasoning to a cobblestone of size 5. They saw 5 times 5 as representing the 5 groups of 5 stones where the groups were the columns. This gave them 25 cobblestones in the first section. They said the second 5 times 5 represented the 25 stones in the third section. And finally, the 5 plus 5 times 5 represented the 25 stones in the second section, plus a spare column. E.T. said even though plus 5 represented the spare column in Amir's method, it means 5 stones in the one column. In the next episode, Halim and E.T. will apply this method to a size 7 cobblestone.